We welcome you to episode 64 of Battin Chattin here in Eastern Observer alongside Denis Tuohy. I'm Brandon Natale. Now, before we get started, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube to be kept in on the loop on everything Eastern Observer and most importantly, Battin Chattin. Our show can be found on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts can be found. Dennis, how you doing on this fine Friday evening? Our baseball teams. Yankees were starting to look good, and then David Fry said otherwise, and then the other person to hit that tying home run in the ninth inning, and that was
Noel.
Joanski Noel.
Big
And
Christmas.
the Mets. And they seem to be more outmatched to the Dodgers than we thought. Who don't know? Maybe they should have played the Padres. And yes, I see you have that shirt. So it's a good Friday evening. It's nice out. The weather's still kind of nice out. I don't know. We're not going to get too much into that because this is a baseball podcast. It's not the Weather Channel. And it has been nice out. It hasn't been cold yet.
No, it's starting to get a little nippy, but not enough.
A little bit.
Not
At
enough.
nighttime.
Seeing them bringing it back to the games, seeing them all bundled up like they're fighting in the Battle of Hoth. I didn't realize it was that windy.
Star Wars
New York
everybody.
City this week.
It's
I remember
cold.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday night I went out and it was cold, but I don't think yesterday was that bad at all. I
remember when I went to the Jet game. I remember my friend Alex Inzarelli.
Yeah,
he wore shorts. I'm like, why? I'm like, you sure about that? He's like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. And next thing you know, we're in the Jet shop. I actually did get myself a Jet necklace. Whoever sees that in the back. It's actually I don't know if you saw it in the chat. The Jet necklace I bought myself.
I did see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then so he ended up getting pants. So no matter what, it's been cold. And so in terms of the baseball weather, especially when it comes to October baseball, you're gonna get some cold weather. It happens.
Yeah, you know how I am with like weird patterns and whatnot. I knew Aaron Judge was going to hit that monster bomb yesterday because he's Aaron Judge. Thursday, Law and Order comes out. I said it in my chat. Next pitch hits a home run. What do you want me to say? Big SBU guy.
I like seeing it from Judge. This is great, because what
with the weather getting colder, they got a guy on their team named Big Christmas. I don't like that. No. Give me 65 degrees.
Who's Big Natale? Who's that?
Big Natale?
It's Natale means Christmas in Italian.
Oh.
Yeah, born in Natale.
I speak Italiano. Sorry. Joanski Noel.
That's Big Christmas?
Big Christmas, the guy who hit the tying home run. Noel. So they call him Big Christmas.
Now, in the words of Jimmy Neutron's father from the movie, now you gotta admit, that's pretty neat. Ever seen Jimmy Neutron?
I haven't seen that shit in a long time.
That is pretty cool, though. I like that Big Christmas. Like, I can imagine if he was on the Mets, can you picture the marketing that would be?
Yeah, you guys have so many gimmicks, bro. You guys are like
that would be the next
WCW.
Watch him get traded. Well, imagine he gets traded to the Mets. Hey, but anything's possible. Anything could happen. I think it's crazy. But who was that off of? Was that off of Luke Weaver?
Yeah, Weave Dog.
He's been looking good, though. He's been looking great this postseason.
I'm just worried about overusing him. There's so many examples of that. We've seen it countless times. 1993, Mitch Williams is probably the most famous. He was a dominant closer throughout the regular season, goes into the postseason and just gets shelled by Joe Carter in the World Series over in Toronto. And, we've seen it countless times, man. Help me out.
Let me hear it.
The dude from the Texas Rangers, 2010, 2011. Is that Joe Nathan?
I don't know if he blew it.
I forget who it
in
was.
Game 6.
But after a while, their pen started to get, a little shaky.
Yeah.
It happens. I was worried about that with Diaz because you guys had to use him so much down the stretch. And using him for 2 outs, 2 innings and 5 outs, things like that. I was starting to get nervous for him. Like when he was that Phillies game we went to, the last home game of the regular season, he looked like horrible. He got out of it, but he looked horrible. I was like getting nervous.
Yeah, and you've seen the chat. You've seen the chat in our, even in our fantasy football chat, we're talking nonstop about Obviously we're talking nonstop about the game because a lot of, obviously big football fans, but, also big baseball fans in that chat too. So there's a lot of Yankees, a lot of Mets, my team being the Mets. Uh, Mikey, I remember Mikey Miranda was telling us, saying the same thing. Like, his walks have been an issue. He always starts off shaky Diaz, and then next thing you know, he come back, lights out. But you don't want to start like, but that's what sucks. You don't want that to happen because you don't know what at any given moment the game could change. Look what happened to Devin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's, Diaz has, he was been a little shaky because you never know. Those two walks could lead into three runs, a tied game. You don't want that. That's why when you always give Mets fans, will always feel when you give them that cushion of that, it always feels good because then that say, hey, maybe it's 6-2, maybe the game might end 6-5.
And
But
it's not just. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you continue.
But no, what do you say? It's not the what?
It's not just Diaz. You guys have been walking everybody. Max
No,
Muncy
that's been the issue with this series. It's been the walks, and that's been leading to all these runs. But then also, just the Dodgers have just a really great lineup.
Yeah, Muncy got on base, 11, 12 times in a row? 11 or 12 plate
I
appearances
believe 12
consecutively? All right, so that's still counting then. Because I saw his last at-bat. I couldn't recall if he got on or not, but he has the record now for most consecutive plate appearances with getting on base. And they had on the Fox broadcast, they had all of the appearances. And it's like hit, I think, one home run and then just walk. Send like freaking Pac-Man. It's just he just keeps getting on base. They had 19 walks already in this series, which is insane.
Maybe 22. It's a lot.
At the
Either
time,
way.
they had said 19, so I don't know exactly what it's at now, but that's a problem. That was a problem with you guys in the regular season as well, was the walks, but they just never seemed to get across the plate. The Dodgers, we know how lethal that lineup is. You can't let guys on base. And one thing they got to do, I know yesterday some of the guys in our chats were talking about it, but you go at Ohtani. Don't pitch around him. Go at him. Go at him. You gotta. I know it sounds stupid, but you got to send a message. Go at him. You can't let him on base. Just go right at him. If he beats you with a solo shot, he beats you with a solo shot. 1-0.
Yeah,
it hurts. It's backbreaking, but is it better than 2-0? Like you can't keep treating him like the boogeyman. His stats at runners in scoring position are ridiculous. Go at him. Just go at him. It's beyond me how they're not just attacking him.
I feel like he looks more happier on the Dodgers.
Gee, I wonder why. He's actually winning games.
I'm not trying to shade his previous team, the Angels, but I just looks like it was just a better situation. It sucks that they didn't trade him. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be known as the owner or the team that traded him. But either way, he was going to leave.
He's going to be known as the one who didn't.
Exactly. So I mean, but you just look how him on the Dodgers. Like, I feel like Fox keeps panning to him nonstop. Like whenever it is, yeah. No, I mean, hey, I like Ohtani though. He's great, very talented player.
Yeah, phenomenal.
So, and you just see how honestly, if the Dodgers do go, I mean, they scare me a little bit. Like I don't know, like if I had to like today sitting here right now, like I would pick if the Mets don't make a comeback, I would say Dodgers are going to win it all. Whether it's against the Yankees, if it's against the Guardians, I don't know. I just don't know how you say they don't win it.
No, you're right. Going into the series, I'll admit, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Going into the postseason, I thought they weren't going to win a single game. And now there's no way they don't win. I still have questions about how much they're using the bullpen because they really only have Walker Buehler as their only starter. Everybody else, or Flaherty as well.
Can you keep going? I actually got it.
Sure.
Yep.
And they have Flaherty, they have Buehler, and then it's kind of a hodgepodge of relievers, long relievers, middle relievers that they just throw together, almost like the Suicide Squad. And so just go out there and get 9 outs. So it sucks when you're an opposing lineup and every single inning, every single, you can't adjust. So we've seen throughout the entire season for the most part. And certainly the postseason, the Mets lineup just being really good late in the game or attacking certain players either early or late. It's usually like that 3-4 inning range that they seem to struggle a bit, but they're good when they get those at bats and they could get that pitch recognition. The Mets are something to behold, but the Dodgers are just not giving them that opportunity with every single inning, seemingly feeling like another pitcher is coming out. I'm ready to see Oral Hershiser suit up and see what he can throw at this point. It's unbelievable. They look unbeatable. They truly look unbeatable right now, especially when they've scored 29 runs in 3 games or 4 games. Is that right? I heard them earlier on MLB Network talking about it, but I didn't fact check it myself, which I will do now. It's unbelievable. Whatever you think, however good you think that team is, they just prove to be better than even your wildest dreams and wildest expectations. It is just phenomenal what they've been able to accomplish after looking dead in the water against San Diego. And since then, they've looked like a totally different team. Then the Mets blow them out, obviously, in that second game in Los Angeles. They come to home, Citi Field, and they have all the momentum in the world, and instantly it just falls apart. So, yeah, they had 9 plus 3. That's what, 12, 20, 30 in 4 games. I don't know what's going on, but I think tonight is going to be the last night of the Mets. I don't think I think they clinched their first playoff berth and clinch, right? Yeah, at Citi Field. I like totally lost my train of thought there. They won their first series at Citi Field this postseason. I also think they're going to be eliminated at Citi Field tonight. The probable starters are
David Peterson pitching, and then saying it's going to be available in the bullpen.
Yep, and Jack Flaherty.
Man, Jack Flaherty, man, he looked
1.5. Dodgers are going to win by 1.5. Oh my god.
But going back to talking about Ohtani and the Dodgers lineup, so maybe he was that missing piece to the Dodgers that they needed to get over that hump. Even though that lineup is star-studded as it is, with players like Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. Like, how many star players do you need?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And listen, like, people are going to be talking about the Ohtani, acquiring Ohtani. They also acquired Teoscar Hernandez. It was just like a role player, but was phenomenal when he was on Toronto. So it's not like they're just bums, and then it's like, oh yeah, Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. We just talked about what Muncie's been able to do with his uncanny ability just to get on base. It's every at bat. They just grind you out. Like, there's no easy out in that lineup now, aside from Chris Taylor, but. Whatever. Even him, he had one of the biggest home runs in recent Dodger history a couple of years ago, 2021 against the Cardinals. So, goes to show it. I know. They're unbelievable. Kike Hernandez, every year, he's phenomenal in the postseason. It's crazy that I've said phenomenal like 800 times already this show about the Dodgers. And
it's phenomenal, man.
What do you want me to say? When you keep doing this level of great routinely, what can I use to describe them? It's redundant, but it's the truth. They're just that good. So I'm curious how this is going to look moving forward, because they're going to get to the World Series. I know you got to hold on hope because you're a Dodger fan. I'm a Met fan.
Yes.
I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm a Yankees fan, but they won last night, so why not? I'll throw it on. If the Mets won, I would have thrown on a Mets jersey. Obviously, the Yankees lost, and if the Yankees won, I would have thrown on a Mattingly jersey. Before I know you and some of our listeners and viewers might get a little chippy about that.
Like I said, the Dodgers, they just, they're just they just overmatched the Mets. So it's not, it's not a bad thing to say. It's not opinionated. It's the truth. Like I said, they're just uh they outrunning the Mets with like 30 to 9 runs. They're out pitching them, and especially like we said, the walks are gonna finally coming to bite the Mets in the butt. And the Dodgers they're gonna take advantage of that. And so you know. But like I said, as the Mets fan that I am, like I said, if the Mets don't go, I'm not giving up out yet on the season. Like I said, it's not looking good. We're down 3-1, and the Dodgers look like they're ready to win the pennant. But hey, like I said, as Tug McGraw once said, you gotta believe. So I'm not gonna give out hope yet. Because you never know. Anything could happen. Um, I would say it could go to Game 6. But like I said, you never know. So like I said, even if the Mets don't make it this far, I'm happy and I'm proud with them. They were not supposed to be where they are. The fact that we're talking about the Mets this far into the season right now, it's remarkable. It's insane. It's amazing. That's what makes the Mets amazing. So I just, and I couldn't get to a game this postseason. I would have. I should have. But life happens and gets in the way. But I know I'm not upset because I know this is not the last time we're going to see the Mets in the playoffs for like another 8 or 10 years. You know what I mean? Like I see the Mets contending for the playoffs for years to come. Not knock on wood.
Let me ask you two questions.
Yeah.
First, the Mets are not going to win or make it to the World Series. Do you still think that this is a great season?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Buddy of mine at work said the same thing, and some guy was like, "Oh, it's only a great season if they win." It was just some random dude walking by in this store. It's only a great season if they win the World Series. And my buddy Joe, if you're listening to this, what's up? Joe got revved up. He was pissed. He was like, "That's the worst part about sports fans, bro." The guy was totally in earshot too. And he was like, "That's the worst part about sports fans. There's the worst kind of fans. Nobody expected us to make it. Everything they had to overcome during the regular season to even get here is an achievement in and of itself." I don't know. I said to him, like, I don't know if it's a great season. It's not like 69 or 86.
2000.
I don't know if it's that great of a season. Like, and he was like, "What do you mean?" Part of me does think like the National League this year also did just really suck. The Brewers looked like a hospital throughout the entire season, and they completely laughed their way through the NL Central. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was curious to hear what you had to say about that. Because you know me, I'm a very nuanced person.
You're not wrong. The National League was not that good this year. You're not wrong with that. No, I mean, I feel like the Padres and the Diamondbacks, they did show out, and the Mets too, and the Braves. Like, it was the wild card. I think the wild card was pretty competitive for like those 4 teams. Like I said, I still think it was a great season. Like I said, as far as we come, and to know that, like, of all that we've come as a Mets fan, like I said, all that we've seen over the years, to know that I remember when Steve Cohen first bought the team, when he finally said it, that we will win a championship within these next 5 years. We were like, are we? Because he could say one thing, but then it might not happen. It's like now, what, the 4th, 5th season, kind of, and we're almost there. So Steve, Uncle Steve wasn't, So the point I'm trying to get at is that, like I said, there's been a new change of scenery, a hope surrounding the Mets, where like you feel confident about them and know that they will compete to win, and that they will go out and they will get that next available guy. They got Lindor, then they locked up Diaz, then they signed Marte, and now they brought in all these. Then they've traded them, and then they've gotten these younger prospects. They're now becoming like an actual baseball. I'm not trying to shade them. I'm not. They're actually now become, in my opinion, a great baseball organization, where they want to compete with teams like the Dodgers. They're competing against them. They want to go toe for toe with their cross rivals, the Yankees. We've swept them this year. So, especially the Mets could have been another laughingstock this year with all that's been going on with Jorge Lopez throwing his glove in the stands. And then the Mets starting out 0-5, and then there's always that picture, the video, the clip of barely any Mets fans, even though it was a weekday.
Yeah,
and cold. I always hate that.
that's the one thing I have to push back on with people that are saying like the Mets. Who would have thought? Because I could get away with saying it because I was saying it the whole year on the show. I think they're going to make the playoffs, or at least finish, fourth or fifth out of the playoffs. A lot of what the Mets have overcome is completely overblown. They were 0-5 to start the season. It's 162 games.
But it's media. It's media.
Yeah, but some of it was like they were third to last in their division. It's like the difference between them and like fifth were like 5 games. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like some of it was like a little like I get it. It's the Met fans. They're always nothing good ever happens to the Mets. Oh, poor me. Woe is me. But some of it I really did think that was a little overblown. That's what I said to my buddy yesterday.
But in my opinion, I do
But
think
like I could see both sides of it. That this is like a fun year to remember. I can't think of another team that's been this fun, even if they lose. I could see it being like a fan favorite year. And I think if they won the World Series, I think this would be viewed as the most exciting Mets team. Maybe even more so than the 86 team because they didn't have any of the off-field drama. That's just a fun, good vibe team.
But like to answer your question, though, I think it was a great season. Like I said, the year before we didn't make the playoffs,
Right.
and like I said, after what happened in 22, that collapse, I think you can count that as a collapse.
Definitely, 100%.
And so, like I said, under the new ownership of Steve Cohen, like he promised to change the culture and view of the Mets. We are witnessing it right in front of us. And like I said, as a Mets fan, I'm proud and happy to see that. And I'm excited to see what the future holds because, we still got the whole offseason, which hasn't come yet. But who knows where Soto's going to go? Corbin Burns, Walker Buehler. So that's a whole nother story. So I do. So like I said, there's a lot of great excitement now around the Mets, and it's not It's not over yet. I'm not going to say it's over yet, but the Dodgers look like they're going to win it. But either way, so I think it was a great season, and so as the diehard Mets fan that I am, I'm happy and proud to say that.
And now let me ask you this.
Yeah, what's your other question?
In the NLCS, forget everything else, the NLCS, what do you think about Carlos Mendoza as a manager?
I think he's done a great job.
I think he's horrible.
Really? Okay.
I think he's been horrible.
Let me hear it.
First of all, they never should have started Kodai Senga. That was a stupid
A lot
decision.
of people saying that. All right, that I do agree.
Never should have started him. They should have used him out of the pen. And second of all, what did Jesse Winker do to get taken out of this lineup against Walker Buehler for his career? Now, I'll also get JD Martinez's stats up against Walker Buehler because that's only fair. For all I know, I could be wrong.
No, I do have to say with the Mendoza thing, he did say I would have kept Quintana in a little more. I know he did take him out, and Jose Budo came in. I would have kept maybe Quintana in a little more.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see career. I don't know why it's so much easier to get it up for Jesse Winker than for. All right, Jesse Winker, 5 games against Walker Buehler, 15 at bats, 4 hits, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 10 total bases, 2 extra base hits, 267 batting average, 933 OPS. Why wasn't he playing? I think that's more than a fair question to have.
Well, now Jeff. So I just got the lineup now for Game 5. So Winker is in the lineup. He's batting 5th. He's DHing, and McNeil is playing second base now.
Okay, this brings me to number 3. Why the hell is Brandon Nimmo in the outfield? Dude can't move.
He can't move. Yeah. They said he should be in a boot.
Then why is he in the outfield?
It's your guess is as good as mine.
If he's DHing because his at-bats are fine, that's great and all. They hit a double down the line yesterday. He couldn't run after it. Why is he playing? I can see starting him in the lineup at DH. That's more than reasonable. I also don't remember how good or bad Jesse Winker is as a fielder. But you have Jose Iglesias. Here's the easiest solution. DH Nimmo, second base Iglesias, left field McNeil. Why isn't that? That's so easy. To me, that's not even hard. That's a no-brainer. As much as people get on Aaron Boone's lineup decisions, as much as people have gotten on Dave Roberts' decisions over the last couple of years, and people have also even gotten on Dusty Baker for sticking with Martin Maldonado over Diaz the last couple of years, that Nimmo playing left is the biggest problem. That is horrible. Dude, he couldn't move. He couldn't. It was like a routine. It was not that he was going to catch it, obviously. It was a liner. But he couldn't. It took him forever and a day to get that ball down there.
No, I think it's crazy that I was going to say, no, I will say that to answer your question about Mendoza, I would have to say, yeah, I guess no, he hasn't done a good job. And he's been a great manager the whole year.
Yeah, up until now.
But the CS, there were some questionable calls, and you should have known in game one when Senga was in there that he never should have been in there in the first place.
And I also want to get Jesse Winker's stats up for just this regular postseason, because it feels like he's been really good. I mean, he's one of the biggest reasons you guys are even here with how he's ended the season and into the postseason. To me, the whole thing is just strange. Why they've just quit on this guy. And now you said he's in the lineup today. All right, so he was 200 against Milwaukee. He had the triple, 2 RBIs, a strikeout. All right. Then he was 250 against Philly in 2 games, 6 plate appearances. And then against the Dodgers, 3 games, 9 plate appearances. Brandon, he's batting 286. What am I missing? And for his career, he's good against Walker Buehler. Why wasn't he starting? I understand. Well, nobody ever expected the Mets to be here, but if Aaron Boone did that, forget it. He'd be dragged through New York. I'm serious.
No, it's true. No, I agree. No, you're not wrong.
It's bizarre. I don't know. I like, obviously, I think Carlos Mendoza is going to be fine. He got this team to this point. I'm not saying fire him. No, obviously not. But my thing is, like, they gotta get on the same page here, man. Going with Brandon Nimmo and left felt a little bit like Ron Washington keeping in Nelson Cruz in 2010. Famously, he doesn't bring in the defensive replacement, or 2011. Doesn't bring in, I guess it would have been 11. Doesn't bring in the defensive replacement for Nelson Cruz, and then David Freese hits it right over his head. And they had Andy Chavez on the bench, one of the best defensive players ever. You know that. You're a Met fan.
Yep.
So I don't know. I get it. Nimmo's been your guy. He's one of the best left fielders in the history, or best outfielders in the history of the New York Mets. I get it. Longest tenure in Met or whatever. Don't take it personally, dude. Just DH.
And I remember they were saying on the broadcast that he should be in a boot right now, but he said he doesn't want to miss it, like, because he would be on the IL, but with the plantar fasciitis. But with what he's been through with the Mets, he doesn't want to miss, like, and getting to the NLCS, he doesn't want to miss it for the world. But is it worth it? Come on, man, you got to think longevity for your career. It's not. It doesn't sound too smart.
No, like, again, like, I don't have a problem with him playing, just not playing the outfield. This isn't first base. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
And
yeah.
Listen, if people think I'm being a Met basher, we're just talking about the NLCS. When we get to the NLCS, I'll talk about the stupidity I'm seeing over there. But that would actually have me really tilted as a Met fan. So it was like, I'm a Suns fan. You know that. It was like seeing them constantly play Landry Shamet. I have no idea why Monty Williams loved Landry Shamet so much, but it was like that. It's like, what are you doing? Everybody in this arena knows that this is going to end horribly.
But you know what?
I'm mad that I'm wearing the jersey. I'm mad Kershaw isn't playing this postseason, dude.
Yeah,
The
what's up with
Dodgers
that?
finally look like the best they've ever looked, and he's not playing because he's injured.
Did he play at all this year?
He played a couple games. He's getting out. He's getting up there, dude.
He
He's the
said
same age as DeGrom and came into the bigs when he was 20.
he said he still wants to play a little more. I think like another year. He said. I feel like every time I hear about Kershaw and it comes to him like either retiring or playing, he always says he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm still gonna play. Like another year, and they always sign him to like a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
Um, I never saw him pitch. Like I never saw him pitch in person. I would like to see that. Like
I really, straight up, at this point, I'm going to go to every single Dodger game in New York next year just so I could see him pitch. If I go to the Met game, I'll probably wear the Kershaw jersey. If I go to the Yankee game, obviously I still root for the Yankees. But I really want to see him pitch. I was mad that when I went to the WBC, I was mad he was off the roster. The Dodgers wouldn't let him go.
really,
Yeah, I was so mad. That might have been when I bought this. That might have been why I bought this.
yeah. So he only pitched 7 games this
I
year.
don't remember. I think it came in after I went.
It's crazy. You see pitchers like him and Verlander and Scherzer. They still want to play.
Oh, dude.
Like
I mean, well, who's going to tell Kershaw no?
right. I mean, but he's only 36.
He's the
When
best
you look
pitcher
at
of the
when you look at
21st
Scherzer
century.
and you look at, I mean, well, they debuted at the same time. They debuted in 2008, but Scherzer's now 40.
Kershaw, a lot of mileage on his arm, though. A lot of mileage. You think of all the postseason runs and stuff like that guy's been a part of. You think of how good he was. I mean, he's a first ballot inner circle Hall of Famer.
100%.
If someone said he's the best starting pitcher of all time, I'm really not going to argue with him.
Just
The
my
guy's
thing,
phenomenal.
you know, my thing, the Scherzer is like, how much more can you play? Like, I don't know. Both these pitchers,
I think
everybody.
Scherzer and Verlander are retiring.
I think they said I think it was Scherzer who said maybe Verlander will retire, but I think Scherzer said he wants to pitch another year.
I don't know if Verlander's a free agent, but given how the Tigers season was, I could see them bringing him back for one last year.
That'd be pretty cool. That would be cool.
Just to mentor the younger guys. But again, I don't know what his contract situation is like. I thought he only had a 1 year deal. But yeah.
But like getting back to Kershaw, like, you know, I mean, it's good. It's good he got a ring in 2020, but this would be like an actual ring, and not to discount or discredit the
No,
2020.
I get what you mean. Like, they didn't even play. He never played a World Series game at Dodger Stadium that year. There's like no fans there. Like, it wasn't the World Series experience. You and I went to college, Brandon, but we didn't have the college experience. We were commuters.
Right.
We weren't going to. I watched Blue Mountain State. We did not go to Blue Mountain State.
No, we didn't go to Blue Mountain State. We went to SUNY. No.
No, we didn't have that. We didn't go. Go to American Pie U.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do, but I know what you mean.
I
But
feel like that's kind of how it is with them, man.
But Kershaw, no, he like playing in the bubble around that time. That wasn't the exact the whole 2020 season was just a mess.
Yeah,
Not a mess, but it was it was a lot going on.
Kenta Maeda looked like freaking Cy Young. Everything was wonky that year. 60 games. Luke Voigt, best power hitter, led the league in home runs. Luke Voigt. That's going to be a heck of a trivia question one day.
And but yeah, no. So with Kershaw, like I think it would be cool to. I don't know. But then again, like I said, I'm not going to say anything yet because I don't want to count on my Mets just yet. But if the Dodgers do make it, like they would definitely sweep the floor with the Yankees and the Guardians, or the Guardians. It'd be a good World Series. Yankees Dodgers taking it back to the old days.
I could see us maybe putting up a bit of a fight, but I think you're right. Like a hot knife through butter.
Would be cool.
Ohtani's always just dominated the Yankees too.
But they're just how can you not though? Just the way you look at that lineup, the energy of the team. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
But
know. It's one of the better lineups ever assembled. It's not like Murderers Row, but I had to scrap it, but I had started writing an article about like an NLCS preview, and I said like they were similar like the Whamco Blue Jays in the '90s. That had Devon White and John Olerud and Joe Carter and Paul Molitor, like
mm,
those dudes. And I forget who the middle. Oh, Alomar. And yeah, similar to that, like look at those guys.
those guys, yeah.
All them, they were all really good or borderline or in the Hall of Fame. So, aside from Devon White, Devon White was just a glove for a center fielder, but I mean, one of the best ever. On to the ALCS, on to my stupid team.
Yeah.
So we lose. Dang it.
Yeah.
We
But,
lose, Brandon. We lost.
but yeah, no, like I
Playing with
said,
his hands this whole episode. I have to stop like a cat.
but definitely, like I said,
Funny.
I love my Mets. I always ride my Mets. I'm a diehard Mets fan. I like this, even if they don't make it to the World Series this year, it's definitely a great season, and hopefully we get them next year. But like I said, ain't over yet till it's over. The Dodgers, they look good, so we'll see what happens in Game 5. Game 5 is a little early. It's at 5:30.
Yeah, we're the late game today.
And so yeah, but now going back to the ALCS.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
My stupid team. So we win the first two games. I really can't be too whiny. I really can't. Sweeps are hard to come by. C'est la vie, as they say in France and Belgium, Quebec.
Yes.
Not sure too many other French-speaking places. I think, do they still speak French in Haiti? I don't know.
I believe they do.
Probably a little bit. So it is what it is, right?
Mm.
I don't really care. We weren't going to sweep. We'd be crazy to think we were going to sweep. But going into the series, Yanks and 4, that would have been nice. But yeah, that's not the way it is. We win game 1 5-2. Box score from this one, a Stantonian blast for this one. A walk and a homer. Anybody, when I listen to WFAN, when I listen to ESPN radio, when people call in and it's like, Stanton's overpaid, he's a bum, I'm sick of him, get him out of here. I don't want to hear it anymore. Dude's phenomenal. He's one of the best postseason hitters ever. All the stats say it. The dude's phenomenal. Again, I keep saying it. Now that I think about it, I'm going to keep saying it more. Carlos Rodon looked good for once. He looked good for the entire performance. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, 1 earned run, and 9 strikeouts. Clay Holmes gets to hold, 1 inning pitched, 1 strikeout. Tim Hill, 0.1 inning pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Yeah. And then Luke Weaver comes in, 5-out save, 4 strikeouts. 4 out of 5 being strikeouts is gnarly. Game 2 happens. We win 6-3. And this, you kind of see some leaks in the dam, and you're afraid that the levee's going to break. We win 6-3. Torres, 3 hits and 5 at-bats. He's very good in this postseason as he's going into his walk year. 3 innings pitched, 1 walk for 1 Soto. 3 at-bats, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 1 hit, 1 run scored for Aaron Judge. Austin Wells 0 for 4. Stanton 0 for 4. Chisholm, he got a hit. Volpe's been looking good. He got 2 hits and a walk. All right. Pitching-wise, Garrett Cole on the mound, 4.1, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. He's getting me nervous. Garrett Cole. He's not as dominant consistently as he was last year or in the past for us. And that always gets me a wee bit worried. But, a win is a win, like I said. Clay Holmes is on the hook for the win, going 0.2 innings pitched and getting a strikeout. Tim Hill again, 1.2, 1 strikeout. Tommy Canley, 1.1, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Luke Weaver gets the save, but gives up a solo shot to Jose Ramirez. which kind of worries me a little bit. All the analytics say when you face a reliever a certain amount of times, after three, your third time facing him, your stats exponentially grow, typically. So, because you're used to seeing it now, you have
Right.
that data, you have that recognition. So, I'm a little worried about all the outs he's had to get, just from an endurance standpoint. I'm also worried about the Guardians getting that kind of recognition. It was 6-2. I understand you want to end it with your dog. I wouldn't have minded Cousins or Ian Hamilton, who got hurt yesterday, coming in game 2 to end it. And then game 3 obviously happens. Luke Weaver blows the game. His only real bad game since September. I'm not going to fault him too much. I'm just getting worried about
Right.
so much work in such a short period of time that I really think we need to save him. And then tonight we have Louis Heel going for us and Marcus Stroman out of the pen. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm worried about this one, Brandon. I have to say I'm getting a wee bit worried. And I think is it Tanner Bybee going for them? I forget who's going for the Guardians tonight. It is Gavin Williams. Hey,
Okay.
I didn't know he was in the bigs. I thought he went to middle
That's
school.
funny.
Okay.
That actually is funny. Yeah, I guess I didn't know he was a big league pitcher either.
Yeah, not related, as far as I
No,
know.
no.
For all I know.
As far as I know, yeah, too.
So yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about this one. Now I know people are saying don't be all doom and gloom. 2009, same thing happened. Yankees take the first 2 games, go against the Angels. Game 3, the Yankees lose in extra innings. Eerily similar game. Okay, fine. It's like I said, sweeps are hard to come by. So I'm not going to be too whiny about it. But I just even yesterday when the Yankees took that late lead after the Judge and Stanton back-to-back jacks on Emmanuel Clase, how do you like them apples? I never felt like I could turn the game off and, yeah, they'll win. And I would just go back to watching Javonte Williams dominate. No. It never really – you never got that feeling that, yeah, we got this. So that kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah, that wasn't interesting. I give credit to Stanton and Judge for coming, for tying up the game like that. That was pretty clutch of them. And everybody's been getting on Stanton. No, not a Judge.
Judge tied it. Stanton gave us the lead, yeah.
And then judging his legacy. No pun intended. People say, we're questioning his legacy with the Yankees. Like, he's such a great hitter, but what is he in the playoffs? And I feel like this postseason he's been able to show that he can be that guy. He can be that guy. And then Stanton too, man. Just the way he hit and Ron Darling said it on the broadcast because I remember I was watching some of the game, and he said just the muscle that Stanton had and just lifting that ball up in the air, like it was a moonshot. And so you could just see the energy that the Yankees had, and they almost were ready to storm the field like it was a walk off. And I feel like you like seeing that kind of energy in the postseason. So it's that was the game for them to. If they would have gone up 3-0, I feel like that would have been the series right there. But I feel like the Guardians kind of gained some momentum in the series, where it's not quite done yet.
Especially it's guys that you wouldn't expect. Johanski Noel, we already talked about him earlier, top of the show. Big Christmas, looking good. And, David Fry, he's been good all postseason. He had a very good regular season. So him getting the walk-off home run, I'm not too ticked off about. I'm mad that we lost, but, all right, if it's anybody, it's at least it's, the name brand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People that are like, oh, here we go, Clay Holmes sucks again. It's like sometimes good hitters are good hitters. I get it. Like people say, well, good pitching always beats good hitting. It's like, no, it doesn't. The Braves only got 1 ring with their 3 aces in the 90s. What do you want me to say? Sometimes you can just be that good at hitting. Sometimes, you just barrel it up. You see it right. it is what it is. Also, like the Yankees, the Guardians, and Clay Holmes. How many times have they seen him over the last couple of years? Because he played them in 22. No, they benched him, didn't they? Didn't they bench Clay Holmes in the 2022 postseason? Or was that after the Guardians series? It might have been after the Guardians series they benched him.
Might have been a little after.
But yeah, the point I'm trying to make, like, we gotta win tonight. Because if it's 2-2, then I get worried.
I would be too. I would be. Not to say that, I mean, it is what it is, but not to say that was the series to do it, to clinch it. Like that was essentially your game 4, game 7. You know what I mean? Like that clincher. Felt like it. But I was watching highlights the other day of the 04 ALCS, and I remember the Red Sox were the Yankees in Game 3. They were like nonstop destroying the Red Sox in Game 3.
Yeah.
Where it ended, I think the score was like 19-5. So single handedly, you could have made the argument, yeah, that's it for the postseason, right? Like that's it for them right there. But they didn't give up. So anything is possible. But the Guardians right now, they got a new fire. They got new energy.
Yeah. That's always what gets me a little worried is when a team gets ignited. And, I don't want to see Jose Ramirez looking as good as he's looked. He's good. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. But I don't want him to get woken up. He's a switch hitter that could steal bags, barrel the ball. I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it. So, yeah, I always get a little worried when series wins don't come easily. Especially it's the Suns fan in me. I mean, I've seen this so many times. I mean, just with the Mavericks, I just, the Bucks blew a 2-0 lead. Don't do this to yourself, Dennis. Don't be thinking about the patterns and whatnot. Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
just for once, give me something easy. Give me something easy. That way we can rest some of those bullpen arms that we maybe or may not have been overusing a little bit. And I did say I was going to talk about some of the stupid decisions that the Yankees have made. Either start Rizzo or don't even think of using him. No in between. Because he can't play first. John Birdie, who's played first base probably less games than I have, if we're being honest. Obviously, me not at the big league level. He looks better at first right now than Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo looks like Bambi on ice. People are going to remember the Noel home run. They're not going to remember the ball that he definitely could have gotten to right before it. I'm not saying he's got to dive on every single play, but that play was definitely catchable for Rizzo. At least make an attempt, dive on it or something like that. I think Birdie would have. I think Oswaldo Cabrera would have. So I understand that Rizzo was horrible defensively last night. Horrible. And some guys aren't comfortable coming into play defense late in the game. They're just not. I wonder if that's what it is. I don't know. But either start him or don't. Just enough already. Either we can't be constantly, this freaking Yankees team and this Yankees organization constantly in the middle. Either do one way or do the other. Stop being in the middle. Make a plan. Make a decision. Stick to it. I didn't mind, Jason Dominguez being used as a pinch runner yesterday. But you know who I would have loved to see as a pinch runner? Oh, one of the fastest players in the league. Yeah, but we don't have that, Dennis. Yeah, we do, in John Birdie. So if we have the ultimate pinch running weapon, why aren't we using it as a pinch runner? Start Cabrera or start Rizzo and bench Birdie, who's actually looked pretty decent. I'm not trying to hate on him. It literally is just he's better somewhere else. Better as a runner off the bench for our team that has the athleticism of a block of wood. And the base running. Holy moly, great balls of fire. The base running's horrible. We got bailed out yesterday because Jose Ramirez, I don't know if you saw the play, like snow cone the ball, and then he went to tag Volpe and it came loose. I'm sure Guardians fans, if they lost, were going to be whining and complaining, saying that he hit it out of the glove. He didn't. It was a bad tag. It was a bad play on Ramirez. But, again, that whole thing only happened because they're bad base running. It allowed Verdugo, good base running, to go to second. But it's enough with that, too. As John Sterling said the other night, this is what the Yankees do. They run the bases like a bunch of drunks. Is he wrong? No. So that's very annoying. As far as the way the bullpen was used yesterday, it was fine. Everything kind of fell apart after Ian Hamilton had to leave, but he got injured. So everybody had to then be moved up. I'm not going to fault Boone for that. I thought Clark Schmidt, maybe they could have left him in a little longer, but I don't know. He didn't exactly look good, so I understood it. Right tonight, Luis Heel needs to shove. And I don't want to see Marcus Stroman. I don't want to see him, man. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I don't want to see him, man. Late season Marcus Stroman, every single statistic imaginable is like, no.
If this is the season, if this is the year for you guys to make it, I have a lot of confidence in the Yankees, and I mean that in a good way, because like the Yankees, they look really. If I looked at, because the past 15 years after their first World Series championship since 2000, if there was any other team that I would be confident, like I said, I'm a Mets fan, so I see I'm overthinking it. What I'm trying to say is the Yankees, if they had, this is an opportunity for them to make it to the World Series, and I'm confident that they would. This is it. Like past years, I would look at them and be like, they're not making it to the World Series. I don't know if that was just the biased Met fan in me that would say that, or I would just, as the other baseball fan in me, that would say it. But like I said, I'm also a big Mets fan, but I'm also a big baseball fan as well. So when I look at the Yankees baseball wise, this team looks legit, and they should make it to the World Series. If they don't make it to the World Series this year, that's on them.
I agree. This is the easiest path that we've ever had,
and they just, it should be. It's hard. I'm trying to think of the words to describe, because like I said, if this Yankees team didn't make it to the World Series, it would be a problem, because the way they're stacked and the way the energy and the whole, the way they've been, and especially with, adding Juan Soto, it's just they, and like you said, they got the easiest road. They beat the Royals. You think they would beat Cleveland, but Cleveland's actually putting up a good fight. How do they not make it to the World Series?
I can't think of a single year since 2010, the start of the drought, that the horrifically long drought of 15 seasons. I don't know. Guys, Mariners fans, what they think. Their team didn't even make it for 21. I can't think of a single year that our team was like, we should go to the World Series more than this year. We've routinely dominated the Guardians since 2006.
There's no Astros.
There's no Astros, although in the regular season we just mopped them every time we played them. This was probably the best year. I actually wanted to see the Astros. I wanted to put the dagger in the beast. But, it didn't work out that way. You play who's in front of you.
Yeah.
In 2010, just kind of going through it off the top of my head. 2010, the Rangers were really good. I think those 10 and 11 Rangers teams are going to be forgotten by history, but they were really good almost
They were
winners.
really good. They were great.
I don't know historically who else I would compare them to, because most teams won at some point and they never did.
Maybe another
obviously
Yankee
they won
team.
last year, but
another Yankee team would be in 17. And they weren't supposed to make it as far as they did.
No, they weren't. They were actually very similar to this Mets team.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with you. That is 100% accurate.
They were going into a rebuilding year, a retooling year. And let's see what we have in some of these younger guys. Gary Sanchez and this Aaron Judge kid. Tyler Wade.
Tyler Austin.
No. It was Tyler Austin. You're right.
Tyler
Not
Austin.
Tyler Austin. Greg Bird. That
Wow.
was going to be the future of the Yankees. Was those four, and the only one who panned out was Aaron Judge, and Gary Sanchez looked very good a couple of years. All right. Greg Bird couldn't stay healthy. Tyler Austin. I was messed that up. I mean, he's most known for fighting Joe Kelly.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
what
Infamous
else?
fight, yeah.
I mean, it's funny. You see Aaron Judge when he came up, and like the baby bombers and stuff like that, they're calling them. It wasn't Aaron Judge. It was Greg Bird, Gary Sanchez, and Tyler Austin. Aaron Judge was viewed as like a project player, like a gimmick. This massive juggernaut.
It's funny how things turn out.
Maybe he'll be good. Like he was viewed as just a throw-in. Turned out to be by far the best of any of them.
And one of the best hitters ever.
Yeah.
You want to know?
And the best power hitter of the 21st century. I don't care.
I remember when
Judge say Barry Bonds, whatever. When you take steroids, I'm sure Aaron Judge would also look like friggin'
I'm sure
a world beater.
He probably would have had like 100 home runs.
Yeah. I mean, he got 59 this year. He started and ended the season in a drought and got 59 home runs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's much of an argument.
But what was I going to say? But I remember when Judge first came up. I remember Teixeira and A-Rod retired at this mid-season
16.
at the same time.
I saw Teixeira's second to last game.
And then they brought Judge and I think it was Tyler Austin up that very next day, literally. And Judge didn't have a good season that year, like midway through the summer into that. But then it was the next year, his rookie year, that's when he really popped off.
Yeah.
So
and we've dominated the Guardians. That's the other thing. We've dominated the Guardians since 2006, since the Fly game with Jabba Chamberlain. That was the last time they beat us in the playoffs. I mean, they beat us in games, obviously, but that was the last series they beat us, was the Fly one. And
you guys beat them in 17. You guys came back from 0-2.
Yep. Didi Gregorius. And they were the reigning AL champions. They went to the World Series the year before.
I think Jay Bruce was on that team too.
Not on our Yankees team.
Not on the Yankees. He was on the Indians/Guardians.
Yeah. But the Lindor was on that team.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Santa Maria.
And J-Ram, Jason Kipnis was on there as well. Like they had guys.
Yeah, the Guardians they've had some good players. And they're still looking to end their drought. You know, Cleveland. Yeah, imagine Cleveland. Right? Cleveland. Imagine they had a Cavaliers parade, but then they almost had a Indians parade the same year.
Yeah, you threw me off for a second. I don't know what's been going on with Google lately with their whole we're going to use AI to answer your question. Tighten it up. Get an Alan Keen, tighten it up because this sucks. Anytime now I try to type something in, they give me the wrong thing. Last World Series win. They show the Cleveland score from last night. Great. This was the World Series? I had no idea. Brandon, apparently the Yankees already made the World Series. Who knew? Oh, but even more interesting, so did the team they're playing in the stage before the World Series, Brandon. Enough with the AI crap. 1948 was the last time they won. Again. But we're going to have to listen to Yankees fans whining about 15 years. First world problems. I know I sound like a baby boy to you Met fans and whoever else is going to be listening to this. I'm sorry if you're a Mariners fan out there and he's like, my team's never even made it. And we had to wait 21 years to even make the postseason. Like I'm sorry, but A's fans, they've had to put up with a lot. What do you want me to say? I'm spoiled.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for.
I'm
still waiting for a Jet home playoff game. I'm still waiting for a Jet Super Bowl. I'm still waiting for. I've seen the Mets in the World Series, and I've been to a Met home playoff game. I'm still waiting for a Met parade, Met World Series. I'm still waiting for a parade.
Yeah, it's like
So if it doesn't happen this year, it could happen next year.
yeah, it's like
We'll see.
I can always look to the NHL season to brighten my spirits as my Devils are just obliterating everybody to start the year off.
We still got to look up when to go to a game.
We have to. I was actually looking the other day.
We'll
Tickets
talk about that after
to
the show.
UBS are kind of pricey.
But
All right.
any last thoughts before we wrap up the show?
Let's go Yankees. And Lindor should have been not only the finalist for shortstop Gold Glove, he should have won.
Oh, he got
shortstop
snubbed.
Gold Glove. That was pathetic.
I don't know why the
who's
media
voting
keeps
for this, but this is stupid.
What do
did
they
he
have
do?
against Lindor?
What did he do?
It's so awful. I don't understand it. I don't understand the hate around him.
If he doesn't get all MLB shortstop second team, Bobby Witt was better than him this year. I'll give you Bobby Witt as first team shortstop. If he doesn't get second team shortstop, anybody who didn't vote for him, you know nothing about the game of baseball, to quote Ken Harrelson, Hawk Harrelson, the GOAT. Because enough already. Enough. He should have been an all-star. They should have tried to find a way to make him an all-star. What does he got to do?
He's got to do backflips, man.
He should have arguably also been the MVP this year.
Got to do jumping jacks on the top of the top of Citi Field with Grimace.
Yeah.
All the way in the nosebleeds.
What does he have to do? What does he have to do? To wear the Grimace costume to the plate? Like, what? Come on, man.
That's very true, though. He should have easily been a Gold Glove. He got snubbed. But what you going to do? But all right, I think that wraps it up for us here.
That wraps it up. Yeah.
1 second. We thank you for joining us on another edition of Battin and Chattin. For my co-host Denis Tuohy and the entire Blackjack Media Group team, I'm Brandon Natale saying so long, and we'll see you next time. Let's go Mets.